the bottom of it with your host, Joshua Moriarty.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in to The Bottom of It with me, your host, Joshua Moriarty. Good to have you back. Good to be back, actually. Always happy to have a new episode up. Today's one is another special one for me. It's with a good buddy of mine, Sam Stewart from the band Low Moon. He's a shit-hot guitar player. What else can I say about Sam? He's just an all-round bloody swell chap. I always really enjoy hanging out with him. He is the son of Dave Stewart from Eurythmics and Siobhan Fahy from Bananarama. He plays in the band Low Moon now, but he was in a band before that with his brother Django called Nightmare and the Cat, and they actually recorded an album with Eric Valentine, who is an excellent producer. We were talking about him on the last episode. He did the Death from Above record, their most recent one. He did Songs for the Deaf. He's done all sorts of interesting things. But we're not here to talk about Eric Valentine again. We're here to talk about Sam Stewart and his band Low Moon. Now the debut, should I say, Low Moon album was released earlier this year. It was produced by Chris Walla, who we talk about, who was in Death Cab for Cutie, and Francois Tetaz, who I spoke to earlier on in the podcast as well. I'm not going to get into what Frank's done. You can look him up. So Sam and I, what did we talk about on this episode? We talked about him giving up social media. We talked about jamming and having just a sort of okay time. We discussed how he thinks Drake is crap, which is always nice to have someone offer up that opinion. There's plenty more things we talk about. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Stewart, enjoy.
Have a lot. Yeah.
They even have a lot there.
So, to answer your question, it's a good coffee, but...
Are you a big coffee guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not like a coffee... My mum thinks I'm a coffee snob, but that's because
She's not a snob?
She only drinks the Nescafe instant stuff.
Interesting.
And I don't think that's neither tasty nor does it give me any effect of being caffeinated. So...
There's something I quite like the shit coffee.
That's weird because you're not Australian, but...
No, New Zealand and Wellington are really hard out about coffee as well.
Okay.
It was definitely a thing
Yeah.
growing up. No, I either like it really terrible or really good.
Well, there's something a bit romantic about just a cup of tar, isn't there?
Yeah, like the shitty, on the airplane.
Yeah.
When you're sitting on your computer and you know you've got 9 hours to go.
I'll drink it for sure on the plane.
I like that it feels like crack though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I've stopped doing all drugs.
It might also be to do with all the time you've spent in recording studios. Because...
See, I reckon cups of tea are the rock and roll drink of choice in the studio.
That is true
feel
in
like-
England and probably Australia.
Yeah.
But in America, it's the bun, the big diner-style coffee pot that they've got brewing all the time.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think if we had that recently. I just had lots of tea.
When we were making our album, Chris Walla would put a pinch of cardamom in the brew.
That's his
signature.
That's his signature?
Yeah.
What other signatures does Chris Walla have outside? So if he's doing that in his coffee, what does he do to his guitars?
He drops them and
really
treats them kind of like savagely.
He was doing that in the studio? These are his guitars or the studio's guitars?
No, his.
He's a guitar player, right?
Yeah, he is. He's like a he's primarily a bass player, actually. That's what he started on bass.
What did he play in Death Cab for Cutie?
He was kind of the auxiliary guy.
Right, and is that why he left? Because he didn't have much of a job and eventually it just got to him?
No.
He was the producer of that band as well, right?
He's a founding member and producer.
Okay.
And co-writer. Not always, but I think quite often.
I think as soon as he left that band was when I stopped listening to them without me even knowing that was the case.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Well, I'm not a super... Like, I don't know a lot of their music, to tell you the truth. I know like the big tunes.
What are the big Death Cab tunes?
That one, I Will Possess Your Heart.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
good jam.
that was the album. That was the one that I listened to a lot.
Yeah, and that was a cool jam.
That album was good.
And like a song called I Will Follow You Into the Dark.
No wait, I Will Possess Your Heart. No, that's the album afterwards. Did he do that? So he did that one.
Yeah.
Then that was the last one I think he did. I'm gonna say.
No, I think
Did he keep going for longer?
I think he did like one or two more after that.
Man, that band's been going for ages.
Yeah.
So this is no longer about you anymore. It's about Death Cab.
That's all right.
Death Cab for
People
Cutie.
don't know who I am, so might as well talk about other people.
Let's talk about everybody else. Your band's doing all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's doing fine, I think, you know.
What were you guys just doing?
We were in the UK about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were there for about that amount of time, 2.5 weeks, doing a tour.
Who with?
That was just our.
That was
our
your own one?
Yeah.
But you were doing one earlier. You were there. What were you doing with last time? You were playing with that other band that people know.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the end of last year when we were on the road with London Grammar and.
London Grammar.
Yeah, we were out with them for like 2 months almost.
Wow. Are they big shows with those guys?
Yes, they were big. In Europe particularly, like the one in Berlin was like, I don't know, it was like an arena. It looked like an arena.
Really?
It was maybe like 7,000 people.
And are you playing to how many thousands do you guys get? And does anyone care about you? Or does it feel like they hate you?
That tour was, I would say, one of the most beneficial for us in terms of exposure.
Did the Instagram followers go up drastically?
I think so.
But you don't pay attention to that?
I'm not on the Instagram these days. But
these days, as in you were, but you've decided to retire it?
Yeah. Like it's probably close to a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. That I
did you have any withdrawals?
No, not from Instagram.
What did you give up other social media?
Facebook.
As well.
And that was longer ago.
Okay.
That was like a year and a half ago.
So how does anyone reach you? I text you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you always get back to me, and it's fine.
Well, yeah, sometimes I take a while, which I'm not the best at being a quick response.
Is that because you've got way more texts now because that's the only way anyone can get to you?
I'm going to say yes, but that's not true.
And what was your reason from retiring from the internet?
I mean, like a few reasons. Facebook was, I just couldn't really handle. I went through a breakup and just didn't really want to handle all the pictures and
you just stopped following your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, but it was like our worlds were so intermingled.
So she's going to appear on your other friends'
photos.
and then there's lots of unfollowing to do.
Yeah, it's just like getting too much. And then also at that same time, we were leading up to the 2016 presidential election, and it just got so annoying. Mm-hmm. It was just like ridiculous. The amount of, soapboxes that people were shouting from, and I don't know, it all felt so, obviously this is what everyone has said since, but it did feel like I was in some sort of a bubble. Mm-hmm. And
so what, none of your friends were pro-Trump?
Was that surprise you? No,
I feel like everyone should have a couple of pro-Trump friends, shouldn't they? Just to kind of keep things balanced.
But I think anyone who was pro-Trump would have kept Sturm until after he won.
Yeah, sure.
Especially in our circles.
Yeah, I don't feel like anyone in our circles is really pro.
No, but maybe their dads or something.
Yeah, sure.
I think there are a few parents of friends. But definitely nobody in England, where I'm from.
No.
I don't... Not that they would have much to say about the presidential election, but everyone had something to say about Trump, didn't they? Everyone does.
Because they kind of didn't... People were funny about him before all of that anyway.
Yeah.
He already had a reputation.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I remember, the moment I decided that it was just really, really a false reality that was being presented to me on Facebook. Was
You had a moment?
Yeah, but it was years ago. It was when gay marriage was legalized. And
In the UK?
no, here.
Oh, here.
And everyone was like, yeah, and you know, obviously I was happy about it too. But then there was one person on my feed that said something negative about it, and I was like, who's this guy? Like, I don't remember being friends with this guy, you know? And you know how that happens on Facebook, where people pop up and you're like, I just don't know this person.
I had that just the other day, and I went on a stalk
Yeah.
of the person, and it took me a long time to figure it out.
But yeah, like I went on there and was like, I don't really, and then I realized I loosely sort of kind of knew him, and then
Oh, if he's opposed to the views of all of your friends, you've got to get rid of him.
well, that's what happened, right?
You couldn't have anyone
I
friends that
unfollowed
doesn't...
him, unfriended or
Of course,
hid him or whatever it
he doesn't
was.
agree with you.
And then that just kept popping up in my mind. I was like, maybe I should have just like not done that, because he was the only person who had an opposing opinion.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, it's kind of fucked, isn't it? Like, you're only looking at things that you agree with and the things that you are already like or interested in, and that's just sort of how's anyone gonna develop their own opinions in that way?
Yeah, they're not really.
No.
But what I find is it gets even more intense, whereas if you don't agree, you'll still agree with these your friends,
Yeah.
but if you sort of don't agree on some of the points, then you'll get attacked for that. It's like you have to agree completely with everything.
Yeah.
You can't even like three quarters agree. That's not enough.
No, but that's
You'll get
why
pulled down.
But like, if you're just having a one-on-one hangout with someone, you can chat and you can kind of figure out where they're coming from, and you can explain yourself a lot better instead of like having a public argument where it just gets heated and spirals out of control.
I found it quite fun to just post things on Facebook that are a little bit outrageous, and then just with no follow-up. Don't go and see who commented.
Yeah.
Just move on with your life. Like, just say shit.
Yeah.
And then don't even care to see if anyone's getting annoyed about it.
Yeah.
It's a bit more fun. It's like, oh, what, you're still going on about that slightly homophobic remark I made? Get out of
it. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the way the president acts as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I wasn't quite that bad. It was more like jokes. It's like jokes that are a little risque.
You're terrible.
Yeah. But I didn't really get in too much. No one really got me. I say that I did that. I'm still scared of everyone as well. Like, I said a few little things. And then I realized that just, like, who even cares saying stuff unless it's really funny?
Yeah.
Don't even bother. And then I was like, am I really that funny? Well, I'm like, you're like occasionally kind of funny, but I'm not hilarious. So best
I think
to just...
you're hilarious.
Not hilarious. Thank you.
I haven't seen I'm not familiar with your online persona.
I don't think I have much of one. Yeah. I was talking to a housemate about this yesterday, about how, I need to sort of rejig my brain and how I think about all this online stuff. I think there's a little bit of, if you can't beat them, join them, that I need to do. I've been trying to beat them, but I'll never win. I don't think.
You were trying to beat the internet.
Yeah, like beat the idiots and beat everyone else out there. Yeah. And by like saying nothing and staying quiet and like getting sort of furious about how ridiculous it all is on my own. And it was just sort of stifling me. Yeah. So maybe best to just kind of like... Well, I like your approach to just removing yourself completely. Yeah, but I'm not trying... I mean... Well, you're in a band and you can let those guys do it for you. Yeah, exactly. It's sort of a lazy approach in a way. Because I'm not even contributing to the PR of the band in any way, like on my own level. Well, you're doing this interview for Low Moon, everyone. So if anyone, this is my contribution. Yeah. Well, it's sometimes nice to speak to the person who's not the guy who's going to say the most, right? Right. You're in the band. You're there. You recorded the record. You're writing the songs. You're part of it. Yeah. Some of the songs. Some of the songs. Well, there's new ones that you're working on as well. We're you're part of the band. Yeah. So it's nice to hear the other person's side of the story.
Yeah.
Just don't say anything negative about the other guys.
I'll try not to. No, there's nothing.
This actually brings me to
Everything is great. We're all really happy.
Yeah, I love everything that we've done. I had a note here. You're sort of... You don't sing, do you?
I mean, I sing in the shower.
Yeah, but you don't sing in the band or anything.
Some backing vocals.
Yeah. But you don't want to... Like, have you ever wanted to be... like known as the great Sam Stewart, the biggest star in the world, who's doing all the press photos, and I don't know, what would you be, the world's greatest guitar player?
No.
What would it be?
I mean, I've always kind of been a side man.
Yeah, I wrote sideman down, but I didn't want to say it.
No. I guess I always kind of have, like, my first band that I was ever in. That's what I was going to be, was the guitar player. It was never like, right, well, I'll be the singer. Yeah. It was like... But the guitar player can be a front guy as well, if you think of Jimmy Page. I was always like into... Dave Navarro. You've got some tattoos, you just got to get the shirt off. Yeah, you just got to get ripped. I need to go on the diet that your roommate's on. I was always really into, like, Blur. So I always figured, like, Graham Coxon was the guy that I kind of wanted to, kind of the side guy, but he kind of has some of his own tunes. They let him, like the George Harrison, they let him sing his own tune maybe once or twice on the album. And this one's good. Yeah, that's the way I always wanted to be when I was a kid growing up. Like, that was how it was with my first band. It was like, we wrote the songs together and the singer sang, and then I'd be like, I wrote this one, like, maybe I'll sing this one. And he'll be like, wow, begrudgingly sort of like, fine, all right, well, what will I do? But I know, just play rhythm guitar. But did he play guitar as well? Yeah. Oh, well, then that's fine. He can just play. It's not like Liam Gallagher who's got to stand there playing the tambourine. No. But I do remember once we did have a big argument because he had decided he didn't want to be a guitar player. He wanted to be like... He didn't want to be restricted by the guitar. He wanted to be... a singer with just a microphone. And did he do that? Yeah, for a few gigs, and then there was one song I wanted to sing, and I was like, you should play the tambourine, and he was really upset by that. We had a massive fight, blowout, in the kitchen of our house. I was holding a banana. I remember it really vividly. Yeah. What's the name of this band? We were called Blondell. Blondell, like Blondelle. I feel like you told me about this band. Yeah. You did a bunch of stuff. Well, I mean, a bunch of stuff. Yeah. we were pretty rubbish, but we were like best friends. We had a really good time. We were really young. There's some guy who started managing you or signed you or something. We had quite a weird, strange manager who, I don't know, in hindsight, he did try, but we were always very skeptical of him because he was really sketchy. He was like a random American guy who saw us play. He was like probably about 40 odd, maybe 45, and he saw us play. And how old are you guys, 19? No, this time, when we met him, we were like 16. Right. And we played in a club in London, and he saw it, and he was like, I think you guys are the next Beatles, and like... Did he actually say Beatles? Definitely said Beatles. For sure said Beatles. And then we were like, great. And then he took us to dinner at his like fancy members club, and it was like, I had a bowl of soup. It was so delicious. I was like, this is going to work out great. And I mean, he got us a deal with this indie label that was based out of Italy. And where did he come from? Why was he even in the music? It's still a mystery. Right. And you're not in touch with him anymore? No, actually, weirdly, at a Low Moon gig in London last year, that was our own gig. Did he resurface? He was there. And it's because he knew you were in the band? Yeah, and he just came up to me after the gig. I hadn't seen him in like over 10 years. And like the way things left between us, our band and him, was really bad. Right. But 10 years is enough time for that to sort of... Yeah, but it's just weird when you haven't seen someone at all or heard from them or anything about them. Yeah, he could hug you or punch you. And he just came up and he's like, yeah, it was quite strange.
Was he okay?
He seemed just as strange as he ever was, and he looked exactly the same.
Right.
He hasn't aged. He was always kind of ageless anyway. But yeah, so anyway, what were we talking about?
I've got no idea.
Right.
Doesn't even matter.
He got us like a record deal with this indie label, and we toured around Europe, and just had loads of fun. And then he somehow got us signed to Columbia Records, but in Japan.
Right.
And
of course,
we went out to Japan, and we were kind of doing well in Japan. People knew us on the street and stuff.
Whoa.
So that was really freaky because we were about 17
that
or
sounds
18
so fun.
at this time. Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And then we had our glory moment there.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was rubbish.
And then from that, what, to your band with your brother, with Nightmare and the Cat?
Yeah. So then I moved to LA. I was about 20.
Was Django already here?
Django's already here. He'd been living here since he was 14.
That's because your dad was living here?
Yeah, they all moved out here.
Yeah, okay.
In the mid 2005 or 2004 or something. And then I came out 2008. And Django was in a band out here. He'd started his own band.
Yep.
And they were really he was very, very influenced by Bowie at the time. He still is, but at that time he was...
Yeah, there's a point when you're younger where you're completely obsessed and you look like them and do everything like them.
Yeah.
And then as you grow older, you still love them just as much, but it's not... You're not exuding it out of every pore.
Exactly. So that time he was being...
Yeah, he was Bowie.
But
I had a Prince face like that where I was...
Really?
Yeah, I was obsessed.
Have you got pictures?
Yeah, I'll show you some point. Maybe I'll find one and I'll post it on Instagram for all the fans out there as well. Show them what I used to be.
I want to see that.
Yeah, Mariki could tell you about it.
Oh, you knew Mariki during this phase?
Yeah, we had a band, me and Aaron, who was in Miami Horror but left. Him and I had a band called Peacocks, and we really went for it. It was feather boas and flesh, and makeup and everything. And then Mariki joined.
So it was quite on the nose. There wasn't much.
No, it was
subtlety.
all there. No, there was no subtlety. It was because we've been doing alt rock for so long, trying to be the Mars Volta and be the Blood Brothers and listening to fucking Fugazi and all that kind of stuff. And then the band that I was in broke up, and I was so tired of rock and roll that it seemed so fun to do some electro pop music.
Yeah.
That was the sort of punk move to do at that point, it felt like.
And I feel like the people in general felt the same.
Yeah, it wasn't just me.
All people in the world were we don't
I was
like
very
rock
much
music anymore.
Yes, I was very much part of that. But now I'm back to liking rock so much, and yet no one else has moved on with me.
Yeah.
It's just me and the other guys in all the colours. I think there's 4 or 5 other people out there who probably feel the same.
It's a strange time. I mean,
there's shitloads of rock fans. They're just
in South America.
I feel like you just can't reach them through the easy internet means. There's other ways you need to do it. You sort of need to go ta-da and just appear and be a big band, and then they'll listen to you.
Are they older?
Yeah, that's what I think. They're a little bit older, so they're not swiping and they're not.
I found that with our fans. Not that we're particularly rock, but
you're alternative.
We appeal to an older fan base.
Yeah,
a much older fan base who aren't as present online, it seems. Because when you look up the amount of followers we have on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, it doesn't actually equate to the amount of tickets we sell at our shows.
That's a really sad thing about how everyone is this is what I was getting sad about yesterday and talking to my housemate about. It's just, we have this number that sort of defines your social currency of how many followers and things you have, but it doesn't really equate to your worth.
No, yeah.
In so many ways, obviously, like your words of how many people turn up to your shows, what you've meant to people emotionally when they listen to your music.
Yeah.
So many things like that.
Well, I think that's why it's important to, I guess you have to keep an eye on the social media stuff, because everyone does now, but it's important to just keep going. If you really feel like it's resonating and touching a nerve with people, it's
Which I think you can tell when you're performing live.
Yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
I can always notice that more than anything.
Yeah. And I think it's important to just keep going if you can feel that, you know. There have been moments.
You guys just did your own tour.
Yeah.
Across the States, right?
We did.
And
that
obviously
was at the big. That was in March.
Yeah, that was earlier.
March.
And you were saying some of it was amazing, some of it was not as amazing.
Yeah.
But the whole thing in general was a vibe.
Well, the whole thing, and the whole thing in general was really like, I mean, I don't know. That was the first time I've ever done that. Like, been in a band and we did like a headline tour that was weeks and weeks long. Can't remember how many gigs we did in total, but it was 20 something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And
you got to just keep doing those as well.
yeah, it was great. And there were like there were certain gigs where you'd be in like Birmingham, Alabama or something, and be like, well, I don't think anyone's going to come to this gig. And you'd be really surprised. There'd be like a couple hundred people there. But then you'd go to like a bigger city like Washington, D.C., and there's like 50 people. And you're like, I don't really know what's...
Yeah.
There's a strange...
Yes.
But it was cool. Like, I liked being surprised by the smaller, quirky towns.
You guys, it seems like you're really going for it, Low Moon. You've been playing. You've been playing a lot. But some people don't. Maybe you've been going for it, and some great opportunities have come up as well, and you sort of do it.
Yeah.
Other bands don't get the chance, or don't have the energy, or someone doesn't want to tour, someone doesn't want to promote.
Right.
It seems like you've been on a really good run with getting out there and promoting.
Yeah,
this album.
We've had some really good chances, some good opportunities.
But you're all obviously very committed to the project as well.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, the front man / it's his baby.
Yeah.
He's a really kind of... He comes from sports background.
That's right.
He's
talking
into
to
hockey.
Frank Tetaz about this.
Yeah.
He was saying the same thing.
The captain of his hockey team in school. So he's good at rallying people and getting everyone just...
You believe him. He's a good leader.
Yeah, he's a good leader. But I also think that... I mean, for me personally, because I've been in bands my entire life, and I think that when you're in a band and you're older, like I was 27 when I joined London.
Yeah.
You're sort of like older, so you're more aware of what it's going to take and the amount of time it's going to take and the amount of effort.
Yes.
And if you've decided, yes, I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it. Do you know what I mean? And you're not going to get as frustrated or sidetracked by like little arguments, little bickerings, like little interpersonal relationship issues, as when you're younger, when you're in your late teens, early 20s, you might get pissed off at someone in your band and just be like, that's it,
I've done that a few times.
That's just not worth my time. And it's like...
But then you leave, and then what else are you going to do?
And then you're like, wow, that was 6 years of my life, and now...
Yeah, you've got to stick it out.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I just think, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, more patient.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot more patient.
That's something.
And patience is something that it requires, like being in a band requires, which you just learn over time.
Yes, I think I've definitely learnt that. Also just having to communicate lots with everybody.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people involved.
Yeah.
And those it's definitely long-term relationships with numerous people all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a family, isn't it? It's like your new family
Yes.
that you've started when you're growing up, but with other grown-ups.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the band is your baby.
Other grown-ups, but who don't act like grown-ups. Yeah.
How did you meet Matt?
I met him because basically I was on tour doing like session keys for this band. And we were at South by Southwest. And I bumped into my friend there. And he told me about the band. He was like, they're looking for a guitar player.
Red hot,
Yeah.
virile,
Yeah.
spunky guitar.
They're looking for their Dave Navarro. And I was like, well, look no further.
He's right here.
But he put me in touch. He sent me a song. He sent me the demo of Loveless.
Yeah.
And there was a few other tracks. And yeah, I remember it very clearly because I was on a treadmill for some reason. As you do when
How
you're on
often
tour.
are you on the treadmill?
Never these days, but when I'm on tour, like, you know, it's sort of, you think, you trick your mind into thinking that's going to keep you healthy on tour. It's doing like 5 minutes in the morning. But I was on the treadmill and I put on Loveless and I was like, I mean, this is really good. Like,
It's a great song.
And I wasn't expecting, you know, never expect
it's
it to be
usually
good.
terrible.
Yeah, you never expect it to be good when someone's like, oh yeah, my friend's looking for someone to join this band, like check this out. Like there was I'm surprised I even listened to it.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I always listen.
Yeah.
I will always do the listen.
Yeah.
I feel like that I want to keep that going throughout my life. I'm always underwhelmed,
Yeah.
but I will always listen.
So, you know, it was lucky that I listened. And then I liked it, and then when I got back to town, texted Matt. And, you know, this part's a bit fuzzy, but I definitely went over to his house and
Right.
Chrysanta was there and we hung out, and then we scheduled like a little jam. Like I went to the rehearsal space with them, went to Bedrock in Echo Park.
Yeah, of course you did.
And we had kind of like a krautrock jam for about 3 hours.
Yes.
Just like droney noise jam.
You're good on the jam though, aren't you?
I could do a jam.
You're a good jammer.
I can jam.
Yeah, I've seen you in action.
Oh, no.
There's some people can't.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
Right.
And also though, I can always jam.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I'm always having a good time.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah.
But have you ever been in the midst of a jam where you haven't been having a good time, and then you've tried really hard to have a good time, and then suddenly you started having a good time?
Probably.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I'm not thinking. It's not coming to mind.
I mean, it's kind
I
of...
think I've been having all right times and then just accepted
Yeah.
it for what it is and then relaxed.
That's-
Is that what we're talking about?
That's
That's it.
such a funny image. It's just like we've accepted that this isn't a very good jam. But
Yeah.
we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
We've committed to the very subpar jam that this is. Oh,
Yeah.
I've been in plenty of those.
So with Matt and Chrysanta, it was a good jam.
Well, it felt good as in we were all having a really good
Yeah,
time.
that's fine. I don't like if I was listening outside.
Yeah, you
it
probably-
probably would have sounded terrible.
Yes,
but that's,
exactly.
That's like listening to two other people having sex.
Yeah.
It's like it's not really that great to listen to, but they sound like they're having a good time.
That is so spot on. Yeah. Anyway, so we had a good jam, and
That's very important.
yeah, and then like I got a text or a call from Matt like the day after, being like, "Do you want to be in the band?" And I
How
was
much
like,
do you feel like music is like dating people often? You go on these weird... That was a date. You went on a date.
That was my first time ever doing that.
Right.
Because
And they texted you back the next day, see?
Yeah.
We didn't wait 3 days. There was no games.
that
He-
was my
he
first
wanted
time
you.
like joining a band that was already like doing stuff.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
Chrysanta and Matt and this other guy who was playing the drums.
Oh, yeah. Who's the drummer at this point? Same drummer that you have now?
No, is this other kid called Damar, who is a lovely guy, and for whatever reason it didn't work out. Don't have to
Yeah.
go into it.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, they were already playing gigs and stuff.
Right.
It's a 3-piece. but a different name. They were called Stranger at that time.
Okay.
And they'd been playing...
Stranger would have been taken, wasn't it? Is that why they changed it?
Of course.
So, but yeah, who's that great big band Stranger?
No, exactly.
That's the saddest thing about the names that are taken.
I know.
Some twit somewhere in the world put up 2 songs in SoundCloud and pinched a good name.
That's exactly... Even Low Moon, that's why we had to drop the W.
Someone had already taken that.
Yeah, and he was a guy in Holland, I think, who had 2 like ukulele songs up on SoundCloud, and he wouldn't give up the name. He wouldn't even let us coexist.
He cease and desisted you.
I think that I think that Matt reached out to him, and I think Matt even offered him some money. And he was like, "No, I'm really gonna make a go of it." So,
how's he doing? We'll look it up after this.
Yeah, we should look it up. Yeah. Yeah, no idea. You know, maybe he's massive in Holland.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if there's been a big resurgence in uke music.
Well, I feel like it already happened.
And it was all the adverts from 2010 to 2015.
What's the guy, the Australian guy, Vance Joy?
Oh, yeah.
He's a uke guy. His big song was a uke one.
Right, and that song just got massive and massive, like, over the course of, like, 2 years.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, and I was like, this is a catchy tune. And that was, like, years ago. And all of a sudden it's, like, massive, like, now. Like, last year it was massive.
Was it I feel like it was massive the year before, so it's just still massive.
It's just still massive, but, like, it came out ages ago. It came out, like, 4 or 5 years ago.
That song and Jason Mraz, I'm Yours, sort of sound like the same thing, kind of, to me.
That Jason Mraz one is like the chord progression
that's the one that
so many songs.
Yeah, that's that chord progression.
Yeah, and I feel
he does it so well in his little hat though, Jason.
Yeah,
is it Mraz or just Raz or Maz?
I thought it was Mraz. No, I'm kidding.
I've never heard him say it. Maybe I need to get him on the podcast.
Mr. Mraz.
Is it
Mraz?
I'll look into this as well.
Yeah.
We'll get that sorted. Where were we?
Uke music. Oh, the chord progression.
Yeah, uke music, the chord progression.
So, like, that song is weird because I feel like there's about 10 other songs that came out that same year that had the same melody and chord progression.
They're coming out, there's 50 of them every year.
Yeah.
What's those guys, the Axis of Awesome? They have that...
Axis of Awesome?
Yeah, they're a comedy sort of music thing. I feel like they might be Australian, but I could be wrong. And they've done a YouTube video where they take those chords and they play about 100 songs with those chords, and they just sing all of them. Yeah. And it's funny. I think it's, and then if you take the same 4 chords, but then you change where the one of them is.
Yeah.
Then there's a whole another bunch of songs.
I mean, it's so hard because I find the deconstruction of songwriting, like that weird, like, intellectual dissecting of songwriting, it's like really interesting, and it's also really depressing.
Yeah.
And also, like, because it sucks out all the feeling of it.
You wouldn't have done many songwriting sessions with people?
I've done a few.
How does they feel for you? See, that's what I was talking about the blind date kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much in joining bands, but I've done lots of songwriting ones where they might text you back a few days, going, hey, do you want to get together again? You've sort of got to let them down. Oh, I'm a little bit busy at the moment. And I felt like I'm sitting there in a session with someone, just waiting for it to be over when they're getting really excited about it, and you sort of got to pretend.
I think for me, songwriting is like, I think I'm good if there's already like an idea there, and I'm good at like kind of helping guide it and adding parts and structure.
You're playing guitar all over it.
Yeah, just noodling constantly.
Yeah, the song sounds kind of good.
They don't need it. But
it'd be better if I was playing more guitar over it though.
Yeah, but no, I'm like good with. I mean, and I like writing songs by myself. When I try and write a song from scratch with someone else, and it's like we're both just like
okay, come on, guys, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, just wait. Like
What do you got?
That is when I find myself hitting dead ends or writing something really like mediocre.
Yeah. But that, I think that is what so much of the music that's coming out right now, how it's been constructed, is people sitting together in a little room, fiddling around on a computer and going, let's do a...
I wonder, I mean, I don't know how it generally works with like pop writing these days, but I always just assumed that the producers / writers basically have just got like a whole catalogue of like beats and tracks that they've already made.
Yeah, that's definitely happening for sure.
Yeah, and then like someone comes in and starts singing over the top, and then they kind of like
the way the really well put together machines have the producer beat guy.
Yeah.
Then you've got the sort of top line writer who's coming up with all the singing,
and then probably the lyricist.
And then you have a lyricist, and then maybe someone else is helping the producer with the chords and things and doing the music side of it.
It's almost like a weird, like, you know, steroid jacked up version of how songwriting used to be, like Tim
Motown era when they would all have the guys,
or even early like Tim Panelli, like it would be like the guy who had the piano and wrote the music, and then there'd be the guy
Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice,
or like later on Burt Bacharach and what was his lyricist again?
Oh my gosh, is it Leonard someone?
No, God, I can't remember.
I know the guy.
Hal? No, is that not
Hal? Yeah, Hal. Is he someone Hal or is he Hal someone?
I thought it was Hal David, maybe.
That sounds right.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, your phone's just there. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they used to put. I thought that lyrics didn't used to be important, but now I've come around and realized that they, you know, or say a little prayer for. You know that you need both of those things together, otherwise it doesn't work.
Oh, definitely.
Hal David, I reckon that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
That's okay.
Sorry, I hope you edit these things.
We can just wait it out. If it goes for too long, I'll edit it slightly.
Put the mic up to the little background music you've got going on.
Yeah, well, what I've started to do now is put some songs in of my own little pieces. So I'll do one of those while this is happening.
That is cheeky. Hal David.
Hal David.
Yeah.
Do you think that those guys, the lyricist guys, had any kind of music in them, or were they just poets?
I don't know. Because it's funny, because the lyrics on paper for some of those songs, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's amazing.
No,
but when it fits with the music.
Yes, there is a huge... See, whereas Bob Dylan lyrics might look good, but when you hear him sing them, rubbish.
But yeah, you know, like Leonard Cohen, I think, is a poet. Like, you can read his lyrics, and they read like poetry.
And when you listen to him again, not amazing, but he's, you know, he's opening his mouth and noises coming.
I love his voice.
No, I take him over.
Well, I love his voice when he was younger.
Right.
Both the same thing happened to Dylan and Leonard Cohen. I'm not sure why, but they just like their voices just went insanely low and gruff.
Yeah.
Way more than any other vocalists. They just like had this flip. But also Dylan had that weird phase when he started singing that this.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, the
I hadn't listened to him, so
Nashville Skyline, which is my favorite record of his.
How was your dad into Bob?
He's a massive Dylan fan.
Right. My dad only liked he likes Bono and he likes Mick Jagger, but I don't really... Solid. Yeah. Although your dad likes massive. Mick Jagger, they had a band together.
He loves Mick Jagger and he loves Bono too.
Yeah, true.
I think that, like, it's hard because Bono is not universally loved
as Mick Jagger is? Is that what you were going to say? Mick Jagger's definitely more loved than Bono. Yeah. He's sort of crossed over. Mick Jagger's probably just as much of like the egomaniac that we think Bono is, but because he's gotten older and the Stones are just thought of as cooler, he's forgiven.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Whereas there's no forgiving Bono at this stage.
I wonder if it'll
switch.
Because are you two going to be around for as long as the Stones?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Do you think they're going to make it to have been 50, 60 years as a band?
They would probably be close to that already.
They'd
be at 40 years, wouldn't they?
I guess so, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they started when they were really young, didn't they? And they were in school together.
I think so, yeah. They've been doing that their whole life. So that's their family. They're not going to stop.
Yeah, that's true.
None of them have died yet in U2.
No.
I heard a new song of theirs the other day, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Really?
Yeah. I went, it actually sounds pretty good. I didn't love it, but it wasn't terrible. You know what I mean? You sort of assume that anything that bands that have been around for 50 years doing is terrible.
Yeah.
Although people told me that Rolling Stones album that came out, what was it called? Blue and something?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Recently.
I mean, the Stones are putting out albums just because they can, right? Like they don't need to be putting out...
No,
How much of their new material are they playing live? It can't be a lot.
Yeah, how long they play for a long time? So you went to see them, right? This is a good story. You saw them.
I saw them at the Echoplex.
Yeah,
that was
which
like
is
4 or 5 years ago. Or something.
How many people at the Echoplex?
Like 600 or something.
Right,
500.
And your dad got you the connect on this one.
I got to go because his wife, my stepmom, was ill or something.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I got in there. Yeah, but like it was amazing, and they didn't play for long then. They played for like maybe an hour.
Right. So when they do the smaller ones, they don't play for quite as long.
And it was great. It was like deep cuts, covers. They only played like 2 or 3 of the big tunes.
Yeah. Okay.
They played like Jumpin' Jack Flash and.
I think if I saw the Stones in a small like that for an hour, I could stomach it.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be as great as it was. It sounded really good. They didn't have any lights. Yeah. Like it was just like solid white light the whole time, and they were still captivating. Mick Jagger was amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't really have the desire to see them in a stadium.
No.
With all the bells and whistles.
That sounds like my idea of hell a little bit. I think. because I'm not a huge fan, and having them go for ages in a giant stadium full of lots of other people who like it, I would think that they're all... I went to see Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah.
Maybe at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Because Jet were opening, and I know Chris, who plays in Jet, so he got me.
Wow, they opened for Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, in Australia, yeah. That was
Australia.
That was that was the Jet sort of comeback. They hadn't played in 10 years or whatever.
Right.
And I went, and then Bruce Springsteen came on, and I lasted maybe 15 minutes.
Really?
It was just...
You couldn't hack it.
I thought it was so bad.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Which part? Like the playing, the singing?
All of it, the whole lot.
Songs?
Yeah, the songs, the playing, the band, all of the audience who just... He's cool. I would not say he's not cool.
Yeah. I went to see him a couple years ago with Matt from Moon, who is a massive.
Oh yeah, he's been rocking the look recently.
He has.
Yeah.
He's a Springsteen freak. He loves him. I went with him, and I went with my other friend, who's a huge fan. And I am a casual fan.
Yeah, you like those 4 songs.
Really like 4 songs.
Yeah.
I really like maybe... No, actually, I could say... I could name maybe like 7.
Oh, really? I reckon I could do 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little less than you.
But we went to see him do The River, which is like a double album that he put out.
Okay.
I think it's the album before... Born in the USA,
sure.
I think.
Okay.
I can't really remember where it is in the chronology, but it's a double album. So he played the whole album front to back. There's basically no hits on it. There's I think there's like 1 or 2.
How many people were at the show?
It was at an arena. It was downtown in LA. It was one of the last shows ever at the not the Coliseum. I think it's literally called LA Sports Arena.
Okay.
It doesn't exist anymore. But
there's that many fans who want to go see The River live.
Yeah, but whenever Bruce plays in LA, he always played at this one venue.
Okay.
Like basically no one else played at. And they call it the dump that jumps, which I thought was hilarious. But I have to say, I mean, regardless of the songs or what I knew, like, it was kind of an insane show. Like,
yeah, sure.
He played for 4 hours almost.
That's, yeah.
And because after he did the whole double album, he then started doing all the hits. So it was like 2 shows.
Well, that's nice that he did the hits.
Yeah.
See, what I realized when I saw him is that even when he did the hits, I was still going to think they were crap because I didn't like the sound of the band.
Yeah.
I didn't care anymore. I knew there wasn't going to be intimate or there was going to be nothing sort of special about it.
Was it in a
it was at a big stadium thing.
Right. So he's massive in Australia too.
He's just massive everywhere. Yeah. And people... They sort of go knowing that they go wanting to have a good time, so they have a good time, which is great. I wish I could do that, but I'm not that undiscernible or something. I went not expecting much and was disappointed, but that says a lot more about me, maybe. It's just the fiddle person fiddling, and then the drummer Max Weinberg was just so stiff. He's got no feel at all.
Oh, yeah.
And then Bruce was just yelling at me the whole time, and that sort of went for 20 minutes, and then maybe it was going to kind of chill out a little bit, but I wasn't sticking around to find out. You
have to be invested in the character that is Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, you just have to love him.
Yeah, and it's the same with the Stones too. It's like not...
You're not going there to hear all their terrible songs for 3 hours. You're going because you love keeping them.
And they don't play very well.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
the
E Street Band, it's not like they're a really tight, awesome sounding band.
No, they were.
And the Stones are definitely not that.
No.
But you have to be invested in the experience and the character and the songs.
Yes.
You know?
Which I'm not.
Yeah.
For either of those 2 bands. I could do Paul McCartney, I reckon.
Yeah, but that band is a killer band.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's got more songs that I think are better.
Yeah. I really want to see Paul.
Yeah. When are we going to get the chance to do that?
Hopefully because we're playing ACL this year, and so is he. But I don't know if we're on the same day.
What's ACL?
Austin City Limits.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's in October.
Okay.
I'm really like hoping that we're on the same day.
Can you just stick around for the next day?
I don't know, because we're in the middle of a tour.
Which tour is this one?
We're opening for churches.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, but I really want to see him. I went to a really good gig last night.
Who did you see last night?
It was a Kate Bush tribute band.
Who was
They were brilliant.
Who was Kate?
This girl who I should know her name because I played on her record, but I can't remember her last name. Her first name's Natasha.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. She has her own project that my friend's producing now. I played like guitar in a few songs. But she has this Kate Bush tribute act called Baby Bushka. It's all girls, and it was at the Moroccan Lounge, and I went expecting to have a laugh, but I was moved to almost the point of tears like several times.
Are you a big Kate Bush fan?
I'm a big Kate Bush fan.
Right, okay.
But I had forgotten how much of a fan I am, because I haven't listened to that much Kate Bush in the past couple of years.
Yes.
And then hearing the songs live, I was like, yeah, I was pretty emotional.
Wow.
Sometimes.
For a covers band.
Yeah. They put on a really good show, and it was like everything. It was like costumes, props, theatrics, choreography. The band, they all played well. They were swapping instruments. Everyone had a go at singing a song, and they all sang really, really well.
Interesting. Let me know next time they're playing.
I will. And next time they play, I'm bringing everybody.
Yeah, sure.
Are you into Kate Bush?
More than the last things we've been talking about. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I like Kate Bush. I'm not a huge fan, but I could definitely get into that.
Yeah.
I haven't even asked you any of the questions that are on my sort of.
Oh yeah.
Who I'm supposed to.
I know. We shouldn't be thinking about this as like it should just be a chat.
It's totally a chat.
I'm minding because I can see the waveforms being recorded onto Logic, and I just keep looking at mine and being like, I'm saying a lot of shit, but not actually saying anything.
Yeah, I always notice that there's more waveforms for the guest than there is for me.
Yeah.
But which is good.
It's good.
Yeah.
But
We've covered plenty of stuff. I'm just looking here for anything. Oh, this is one I like to ask. Are you optimistic or pessimistic about the future of humanity? I sort of have to include these ones, otherwise it is just us talking about the Rolling Stones.
Straight into it, into the hardcore.
Usually that one I can slip in, but I haven't really slipped it in here.
I wasn't expecting this, Josh.
Yeah.
That's something I would expect a bit more from Alec Baldwin's podcast.
Does he still do his podcast?
I think so. I'm waiting he hasn't called me yet to do it.
Yeah, well then you'll settle for me.
Yeah.
That's my market.
Yeah.
People who can't do Marin and basically people who care I haven't been on Marin. Like, well, you can speak to me.
He does everyone, doesn't he?
He kind of does, yeah.
So
he's
the future of humanity.
Yeah. Is it all over? Or are we going to make it?
Do you mean are we going to be extinct?
I'm not sure what I mean, really. Do you have faith in people?
Eventually, I think that the human race will probably be extinct. I think. I don't know. It's really hard.
We can kind of...
We're trying really, really, really hard not to, but we're also doing a lot of things
I don't think we're
to
trying.
ensure our destruction.
Yeah, we're not really trying that hard.
Okay, no, there's like a few people that are trying really hard.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll be smart enough. Like, I don't know, Elon Musk wants us all to move to Mars.
Is that what he wants?
I think so, yeah.
Why do we have to move?
Because I think the planet's like, it's on the precipice of being
I think I'd stay.
fucked.
I'd stay. But that's because I'm already 30.
Just go down with the ship.
I'm already 35, so it's fine. I can stay.
Yeah, right.
If you're younger...
See, that's the thing. You ask me about, am I pessimistic or optimistic about the future of humanity? It's hard to know because it's like, I'm not one of those people who can like see past my own life.
Yeah.
And that sounds really selfish, but
No, that doesn't sound selfish.
Yeah.
But what are you... Okay, well, and within your own life, are you finding yourself constantly going, look at these fucking idiots? Or going, I think we're going to pull through, everybody?
I think slightly more of the former.
Yeah. Well, you're English.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I want to be optimistic.
But we all want to be optimistic, don't we?
Yeah.
I think I do.
Well, I have 2 teenage sisters, and they don't make me feel optimistic.
Right.
And they're really great, lovely people, but like just it's really the addiction to the social media and the phones and entertainment that's just like garbage.
Yeah.
Like Kardashians and all that kind of stuff. That makes me feel.
But do you think that's just teenagers in general have been into terrible
stuff?
stuff?
I feel like when I was that age, I was into terrible stuff, but there wasn't, social media didn't exist, so it was like I was into like some crap films and some crap music, but like for the most part, I was still engaged with real people.
But do you not think that every older generation looks at the younger ones going, "Oh, they've fucked it now"?
Yes, I definitely do feel that way.
Yeah. And so maybe you're just that.
I think I am. I think I'm just becoming a curmudgeon.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why we're friends.
Yeah.
Because I definitely am as well. But I'm trying to get to stop a little bit.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's not like a sexy look, is it? Being a curmudgeon.
It depends.
Like,
I think it can be.
Yeah. Like what? Like if you're like a Bukowski type.
Yeah, but you've got to sort of like be charming. It has to be a charming curmudgeon.
Yeah, or you've got to be like really, really intelligent.
Yes, which I'm not.
Yeah, me neither. So like you've got to be, maybe really, really handsome too.
I think, that helps with anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a great singer, but if you're really handsome, or you don't have to be a great actor, but if you're really beautiful, gorgeous,
that's true.
You get away with it. So
yeah,
in terms of curmudgeoning,
well. Yeah, I don't know. Who's like an attractive curmudgeon,
I can't think of one. Noel Gallagher's just a good curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, very funny.
He's funny.
Who are the other ones? He's quite like Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
I've kind of gone off him a little bit. I used to love him, but just something about it now. I'm like,
he's sort of a one-trick pony now.
Yeah, it was a great trick. It was the best trick.
Yeah.
It was so fresh and new and exciting.
Yeah.
And then just sort of wore it out.
I watched his most recent stand-up special, and didn't think it was that great. There were moments of it.
Yeah.
Like he ended up reading his Twitter a lot of the time, which I thought was a bit of a cop-out.
Yeah, he's just saying, look at how funny I was a week ago.
Exactly.
That I said there.
Exactly, yeah.
This is a question I like to ask. What is the worst band, or who is the worst artist?
Whatever.
Sure. Maybe live now. So that if this podcast gets big, you'll have to stand by
the worst artist alive.
See, I don't think it's Nickelback. Everyone picks on Nickelback.
You know what? I don't even know any Nickelback except for that one massive tune.
I quite like that song. I'll admit it. It doesn't when it comes on. This
you
is
remind
how
me.
You remind.
Yeah.
I don't like the guitar sounds alright. It's not that bad.
Who's the worst band that's alive today? It's really hard. I mean, there are bands that have gotten really, really, really terrible and are just getting bigger and bigger, like the Foo Fighters.
They are one of probably...
Yeah, we've talked about them before.
Yeah. And we would have.
I got to admit, first couple Foo Fighters albums, I was into those.
Same.
Yeah. And I haven't checked back in with the colour and the shape in a long time, but
no, I feel like it's still fine. Yeah, I think it's fine.
I feel like it probably sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, anything they've put out in the last 15 years.
Yeah, it hasn't been great.
Ooh.
I don't think Dave's going to get on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to slate him, though, because I do much respect to Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
He's done plenty for rock music and for music in general.
Yeah.
But maybe doesn't need to write many more songs.
No.
But what are they supposed to do, eh? You want to keep making music.
Yeah. I know. I mean, like, who else is there?
Because Damon Albarn just keeps doing cool stuff. Like, even if you don't listen to the new Gorillaz album,
Yeah.
it's not going to be terrible.
No, and it's going to be... He's trying at least to do something a bit innovative and a
Yeah,
bit
always.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Foo Fighters are terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe it's who is the sort of worst big thing that's huge.
I can't really comment on something that's like contemporary, because I think it's all terrible.
Right, great.
And that's
Good
just my
answer.
opinion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think that Drake is very good at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, you know, any of the other dudes that or ladies that I've heard, it's like, it all just sounds crap to me. So I can't...
Curmudgeon.
But I'm a curmudgeon, as we've already said. You know, like, I just can't comment on it.
So then let's counter it with who's great right now.
Like a new artist that's great.
Yeah, sure. Or even if an old one, that's still kind of cool.
God, I don't know.
Kate Bush.
Kate Bush is great.
You got to say something's good if we're going to say everything's terrible.
Well, yeah, but like, I'm just going to sound even more like an old fart if I say the things that I think are good. You know?
Well, you've come this far. You might as well see it through.
Yeah, I still love Radiohead, and that just makes me... That's just so painfully my age and race. You know? 30-year-old white guy likes Radiohead. That's not exactly... That's like a headline from The Onion. You know... And I totally get that some people hate them. My dad hates them.
Right.
You know?
Did never like them?
No, I think he pretended to at one point.
What's his qualms with it? He's an
just
80s
thinks
guy. Does it sort of...
I think he thinks it's miserable.
Right.
You know?
Is your dad into new stuff, new art? He's working with new people, is he? Or
Yeah, he's really into like artists who have like a big voice and like big. I mean, he likes pop music, you know.
Yeah.
And I think he tries to stay. He tries to keep in the know of what's relevant.
Yeah.
But like, I remember when I was a angsty teen having big arguments with him about pop stars of the era that
This is the 90s or 2000s?
2000s,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
who I was like, they're rubbish, and
Yeah.
he was like, I think they're great, you know. Whoever it be, you'd always stick up for them. I remember even like later on when I was like early 20s, like he was always like really sticking up for like Katy Perry and like Taylor Swift and those types. And
yeah, okay.
in hindsight, compared to what is big now, I'm like, God damn, like some of those Katy Perry tunes are fucking masterpieces.
Yes, I'm kind of with you a little bit. It seems like it's getting more and more idiotic and vacuous.
Yeah.
Maybe it's at its most vacuous.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we've reached the apex.
Yeah, how much less can you sort of care about anything? But maybe that's punk rock, man. That's the new punk. It kind of is, because it's for teenagers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about...
And it's made by teenagers a lot.
Yeah, and it's about nothing. It's about just not giving a fuck.
We were talking about those like rappers who have tattoos all over their faces. And crazy hair and making just like weird...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new
well,
punks.
yeah, because we don't understand it, and we're not supposed to understand it, because we are past the age where we should be understanding new stuff.
Yeah. Do you think your dad was sort of always pretending to understand things? And really he was just like an old guy as well?
He likes he will respect anything that stands out.
Yeah, okay.
You know? Like, he's always gone on to me about this metaphor of the purple cow. And, you know, I mean, it's stupid, but like, yeah, if there's a field full of cows and then there's one purple one, that's one that stands out. Obviously, that's really dumb. But
yeah,
he would always bring that up. He'd be like, you know, you've got to be the purple cow this, the purple cow that. And he's always been saying that since I was like a little kid. So, I don't know. But at a certain point, if everyone's getting tattoos on their face,
Yeah, well, now you're
orange.
a purple cow if you don't have tattoos on your face.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little while away until everyone's got them.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I'm still waiting for it to be cool to not have any.
It'd be good if you only got one tattoo and it was on your face.
What would it be?
I don't know, just like, you're like, all right, I've decided to get a tattoo on my face. And that's the only one you have. You could hide it beneath your beard. Your beard is very full.
Interesting. I never thought about that's what they do, don't they? When you tattoo the side of your head when you shave it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think that it makes you look. People sort of get it to look tough or cool, or no, you kind of just look as like a commercial person like everyone else.
True.
You look like a footballer.
Yeah.
With their perfect tattoos and their perfect haircuts.
God, how is their hair always so perfect?
They've got to have a hairdresser.
Do you think that they're in the dressing room?
I think 100%, yeah, absolutely they would be. They'd have someone styling them and kind of making sure everything's right. So, because it's part of the business, they kind of got to sell their brand, right? That's what they're doing. What's one other question I'll ask? What do we got here? I'd like to talk about what you think that music does or offers to people. What is it? What's its purpose?
These questions.
I know. Why do you do it? What is this? Keep you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Is it because you don't have anything else to do?
I don't. I'm really boring. I don't have any other interests.
Yeah.
I swear.
But you obviously believe strongly in music.
Well, it's the only thing that really excites me or appeals to me.
Yeah.
And I've always been that way. And I don't know, I can't tell what it does for other people. I can tell what it does for me. Last night at the Kate Bush thing, I was seriously on the verge of tears, multiple times. And that's pretty much the only art form for sure, and one of the only experiences that actually makes me feel emotional, to the point where I could cry.
And tears of what is, because I think I know what that feeling is.
It's really hard to even describe. It's like I just get overwhelmed with how much I am either into the song or into the experience of seeing it, or I really sometimes I'll be watching live videos of my favorite bands like Blur or whoever, and when the crowd is singing along to the chorus, I get filled with emotion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what that. I've sort of thought that emotion because I get the same feeling when I see the same thing as watching a song or being touched by a song or an artist or a performance or whatever. I also get when you just see something really stirring or beautiful, maybe I'm trying to think. There was a puppy once that appeared, and I've never really cared much for dogs. And then this little thing, and I can't remember. I think I was on tour, and we've been partying a lot, so I was already a little emotional.
Yeah, that can help.
Yeah, but I just started weeping at this little dog at its innocence, and I think it's
this happened to you.
This is a few years ago now. I had a little moment with, I guess maybe I felt it's like you feel all of the love in the world and all of the misery in the world at the same time.
Wow. I can't say I've had that experience.
Well, maybe it's not that dramatic, but I think when someone's performing, it's like there's something beautiful that's beyond just this plane or this realm, and you're getting a tiny glimpse into... I don't know what you call it, God, or the spirit, or whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen very often.
It always happens to me in a live context when it is a unifying thing.
There's
everyone in the room. I was at a friend's gig years ago now, this was 6 years ago or something, at the Satellite, which is a shit venue. But
it's not great.
But he was crushing it, and everyone in the room was dancing, really, really dancing. And I was dancing, and I was at the gig by myself, which one of the only times I've gone to gigs by myself.
Right, okay.
And I almost cried, even though there was nothing in it that was sad. The music wasn't sad, it was party music.
It was just a beautiful moment.
It was just this weird, I was so happy to be there dancing with strangers that I almost let it bring out tears. It was so crazy.
So nothing else but music. You don't watch. Do films do this to you, or is it just music?
I love films, but I honestly I think I cried at The Colour Purple when I saw it when I was about 9. But
Ghost was the one that made me cry when I was about 9 as well.
Ditto.
Yeah. Little in joke for the listeners there. That many will be getting that. So yeah, okay, just music for you.
Yeah,
So it means a lot.
One-dimensional guy.
Yeah, what other? This leads me on to the other question that I follow up some of this with. What hobbies do you do? Anything else other than music?
See, this is now going to sound. I mean, lately, because I just moved into my house, I've been really enjoying putting it together. You know, like getting.
Is that going to continue? You think?
I don't know, because I've never cared about that before. But now that it's my house and I'm living there by myself...
It does make a huge difference.
I'm like really... Yeah.
Are you starting to see... When you came over the other day, you scoped out my house.
Yeah, I'm like doing it right now.
Yeah.
I'm like really into that chair that you're in.
Thank you.
It's like an Eames looking thing.
This was on the side of the street.
No way.
Yeah, and Ben,
God,
and
it's
Ben
a
picked it up.
gold mine, the streets of Los Angeles. I got my couch from
It's not a gold mine. Well, no. I guess, yeah, because gold's not that easy to come by. You have to sift through a lot to get it. Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not
the
a gold
streets
mine,
of
but
Hollywood are paved with gold, like they say. Couches and chairs. And lots of homeless people too.
plenty of them.
Yeah.
Few too many. Don't know what we do about that.
It's really sad.
What do you do to help the homeless community, Sam?
Oh.
Put you on the spot.
Nothing. I mean, I really not as much as I should. I should actually volunteer at a shelter.
I feel like everybody needs to do some kind of... Everyone needs to do a little something.
Yeah.
If everyone did a little bit, I don't know, we'd still be fucked, but at least everyone would be doing a little bit.
Yes.
I guess so. It's so... No, I don't know. It's easier to complain than to actually do a little action for the most part. Everyone's sort of expecting someone else to take care of everything for them.
Yeah.
But if you just do a little bit yourself, it'll probably... At least you can feel a little bit better, and then you can look down your nose at other people who aren't. And, go, and it can make you can be more of a cunt as well. That's why I try to do things, so that I can
you can be more of a cunt.
So I can be ruder, be ruder to, I'm like, well, I helped out to lunch the other day, so like this guy. Then you beat your horn more on the road, or I think I've been trying to be. Maybe in my 20s could be ruder and meaner, and now I'm trying to be as nice to everyone as I possibly can at all times.
Yeah,
it can be a bit exhausting.
I'm kind of with you on that one.
What's the last question that I have? I wanted to... Both of your parents are slightly on the eccentric side, it seems to me.
Yeah.
I don't know them that well, but from observation.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yet you seem very not eccentric and very normal.
Boring, one-dimensional.
What you could... I wouldn't... Sure. They'll come right out and say it. You're a fucking bore. How did that happen? Your brother's a bit more on the eccentric side, right?
Yeah.
Are your sisters? Are you the only one in the family you're the normal one of the family?
I don't know about that. I think I might be slightly eccentric in just less obvious ways, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe I'm just really good at like keeping it under the surface,
Yes. Why have you chosen that path?
I don't know. I didn't expect to get so deep, Josh.
Well, we've had some shallow stuff,
I'm English. I feel like I try not to get like the inside stuff out that often.
Okay.
Yeah. But but I don't know. I feel like I'm just living my natural
Well, I guess
life.
the only reason I say that about with the parents is it's more sort of an outward appearance of clothing and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're probably the same,
Right.
but they're just kind of been in bands where I've got to
They were, you know, they both were
They were in the 80s.
Were famous in the 80s. I mean, that's like the height of looking mental.
yeah. That we would be the same now.
Yeah, I think so. Well, like, I think they got used to a certain level of flaunting, or like, I don't know how to phrase it delicately, but like, you know, a certain level of like attention seeking.
Of course.
Like, in the way that they dressed and acted and whatever, and the way they lived. They got used to a certain lifestyle, and I think it's just hard to like tone it down after you've already gone there, you know?
It would definitely be hard to tone it down.
Yeah.
I've started to tone things down a little bit in my dress sense after being in the Peacocks.
Right. Well, I didn't know you in the Peacocks, but I'd say you're still quite a snazzy
That's what I
dresser.
mean. I still do go for it, and that's without nearly the sort of that's without ever being properly famous or in a really big band.
Right.
So I imagine if you have had that, it would definitely be.
If whatever you wore, everyone told you that you looked great, then yeah, you'd probably make some questionable choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what happened to you?
I just assume that's
in the 80s,
I think
yeah.
when you become a famous person, people tell you that everything you do is really good. Like, yeah.
That is a funny one. Maybe if that's what happened from when you were young, but if you haven't had that throughout your sort of 20s a little bit, maybe you got a little more famous in your late 20s, then I think you would know if people are bullshitting you, right? Or do they?
Yeah.
Or do you kind of?
I don't know. I think maybe there's something.
As soon as there's people telling you that you're great all the time, you just believe it? Or do you want to believe it?
Well, I think there's something humbling about having the experience of trying to make it as a musician or an artist or an actor or whatever, that like an entertainer, like your whole life trying and like never quite getting there.
That's how I feel.
It just sort of humbles you as a person. And maybe your appearance then reflects that, you know? Because I definitely dressed a bit more like a dick when I was younger.
Yeah, when you thought you were really going to make it.
Exactly, when I thought like it was just around the corner. So I might as well wear red
It was
jeans.
always just around the corner, huh? It really was.
Yeah.
Now I've got to 35 and is it around the corner still? I'm still waiting. I've been looking around that corner for a long time.
Exactly.
Alright, I think that's plenty.
It's a good place to leave it.
Yeah, that's a great place.
Is it around the corner?
You be the judge.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam. It's very nice to chat to him. We go for quite a few walks, you know, once a week, and it's basically just the same rambling nonsense that we were talking about there. If you fancy joining us for a walk around the reservoir in Silver Lake in LA, you're welcome to join us anytime. Just DM me, as they say. I looked up Low Moon from Amsterdam, and they have 9 followers. That's on SoundCloud. I didn't check them out on Spotify, but 9 followers on SoundCloud, so not a huge amount. And I also figured out it's pronounced just as we thought. It's Jason Mraz, so just a very soft M. And you can also check out the Axis of Awesome 4-chord song on YouTube, and that has all those songs that we were talking about that use those same 4 chords. It's pretty good. Hey, so yeah, check out the Low Moon album. I think it sounds really, really great. The producers did a good job. The band did a good job. To the other 2 members of the band, Matt and Chris Santo, I really like those guys as well. Low Moon, good vibe, Low Moon. So check them out. There's a song called Loveless, which was the one that kind of kicked things off for those guys. That's an excellent tune. And there's a song called Thorns. Those are your sort of entry-level ones, but check out the record. Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it. That wraps up today's wraps up. Thank you very much, Josh. No problem, Josh. Yeah, I'll get that sorted. That wraps up today's episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. More episodes coming soon. Very good. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever it is. See you later.